Would you go with the sesame chicken or would you go with the General Tao's chicken?
Sesame chicken all the way.
Are you worried about the tummy boy symptoms that you're going to get from that?
Most of the time it's Chinese food, so there's always going to be a probability. That's always probability.
Sesame chicken, man, it's pretty bland from a Chinese food perspective.
Yeah, it's an American thing.
With the curries and the Szechuan spices.
If I could find high caliber Chinese chefs, I'll order something that they recommend. And I never really remember, but I do enjoy the 5 spices, the thing that like makes the back of your throat numb almost. You're feeling like all of the senses engaged when you're consuming. Oh, this food slightly poisons me as it goes down.
It's an ancient Chinese secret to keep you healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in college, for some reason I remember this, and I don't remember really much at all because it was fucking 15 years ago now at this point. One of our roommate would use a lot of hot sauce, like a lot of hot sauce. And you kind of threw some shade at this roommate because of it. And you said something like, yeah, they have to put that on because they don't know they don't have taste buds or they don't have any taste or something like that. That was a Ryan zinger in 2009.
Yeah, it still holds up true. Travis, if you're listening, I challenge you.
I promise you he's not.
No, he loves us. Challenge on. Ultimate Chef Challenge. Round 2. 20 years later, not 15. 20 years later.
I would fly in. You know Jack Dorsey?
I do, personally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played golf with him last week.
What's your handicap, Ryan?
69. Hey, let's go.
Jack Dorsey of Twitter fame. He's the CEO of it's a company that owns Square. You know, Square, the little payment system. Like you would go to a carnival and buy a lemonade, and like you didn't have cash, so you would tap it. You know, payment systems.
I believe this company's called Tap to Payify.
Basically.
Swipe your card here,
but it's an amalgamation of companies like them, a buy now, pay later system. Like it's a bunch of things that he owns under the singular brand that's public. They just fired half of their employees. Half.
Got to get them out.
And it's a profitable company. It does well. They're doing fine. I mean, their stock has dropped 75% in the last 5 years. But put that aside, 4,000, they cut their staff 40%. It was actually 40% from 10,000 employees to 6,000 employees. And they're not done. This is just the one guy who has the balls to do it all at once. It's just going to be domino after domino after domino.
Yeah, don't care. Folks don't care about your subordinates. First rule of new money for 2030. Take those feelings, you bury them deep down with some fancy Chinese food. President Xi Jinping, if you're listening, please build your bullet train straight across the Pacific and/or land bridge that connects Russia to Alaska that is definitely still in existence. We'll get to that later. Please send your high-speed rails over to save us and your many faithful servants in your 1 billion man army. A billion people. Isn't that something?
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that beautiful?
Since our last discussion, there's been UFO talk. There's been a State of the Union. There's been a Olympic Games. There's been America's new sweetheart out of the Olympic Games. There's been a Super Bowl. Not just sporting events, but world events as well. Could be going to war with Iran. There's AI is getting everyone fired. Don't know what's going to happen. That's like the first 45 days of 2026.
That's 15 things. And thank you everybody for listening. There's your worldly weekly wrap up. Your top 20 in 20. You nailed that, dude. Way to go, man. I could it's so hard to recall. Like, yes, hello. Today is February 26th. But the last time we recorded was early January because our favorite NFL team, Jacksonville Jaguars, had an opportunity to beat the Bills and they shit the bed. They had a bad game. The Bills sucks to lose the Bills because they're still a crap team. They created an illegal play. Check out our YouTube video on the Buffalo wheelbarrow, aka tush push, if you want to call that.
Yeah.
Even can get away with
Harry, your quarterback.
it. Roger Goodell, I'm looking at you. This is your time to make that illegal and to punish the Bills by never allowing them to have a home game and always letting them play in Jacksonville.
The Jacksonville Bills. So let's go back to the Super Bowl. We'll start on each topic. Try to stay organized. Super Bowl, Ryan. What's your juice score there?
4 out of 10.
That is as perfect as the juice score as you could give.
Yeah, it's a 4 out of 10. Certified plot. Good. Very bad. Who were the commercials for? No one.
Yeah, nothing good.
No one's watching those commercials. A dull year, however, we did get, and this is why it gets a 4 and not like a 2, we did get dueling halftimes.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, we did.
Possibly their first Super Bowl with legitimate dueling halftimes. I don't know, maybe last Super Bowl. We've been gearing up towards it, and I hope we continue the tradition. You know, we're lifelong fans of Kid Rock. I think it's going to be really great.
I'll watch them every year.
The rock anthem of Ba with the Ba.
My name is Kid Rock.
Go nuts, kind of out there rock. Like everyone loves that song. It's kind of like where our country's at right now. It's like we're seeing Ba with the Ba saying goodbye to Kid Rock, but saying hello to you, sir, Bob Ritchie. That's right. The transformation of Kid Rock to Bob Ritchie is unfolding before our eyes. We're getting to watch Kid Rock turn into Bob Ritchie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our brother, Robert Ritchie.
You can tell your old man you'll do some largemouth fishing.
Is that a physical transformation?
He won't wear like a do-rag or like a red leather jacket when he's Bob Ritchie, I think. That's going to be stuff he'll say for Kid Rock. But I think that's what he unveiled during the... Wait, you're telling me you didn't watch the Patriot halftime show? Wait.
You're talking about a transformation at this level? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh!
This is the Guy Fieri transformation from the Frosted Tips.
Yeah, one of our top dud commercials here.
I thought that was funny.
Guy Fieri. We've only seen him with his patented bleached, spiked
Frosted Tips, man. Circa 2002.
And then he just turned into a nobody. And I think that was the point of the commercial. Yeah. You got Guy Fieri. You could do anything. Why are you going to make him not Guy Fieri?
It was just uninspired.
We're going to strip a bird of its wings like that. Very uninspired. Very like...
From the game to the commercials, the halftime shows were probably... Shows, plural, were probably the best part of it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that year, Ryan, where we started doing 2 halftime shows? Do you remember that one? You're not going to remember the game, the commercials, Guy Fieri not having his Frosted Tips. You're just going to remember, oh, yeah, this is when I had the option of the Spanish language halftime show or the English language halftime show.
Right. The opportunity, it will be so common, is what you're saying, like in the near future.
Yeah. Do you remember the first year they did that? Like, remember we thought that was crazy?
The content of the Super Bowl Super Bowl 60, I think. I can't read Roman numerals. I had to look up LX. and then of course you get one of the most annoying things in our AI integrated search engine world. Going back though, it will be a question in the near future. Hey, do you remember when they only used to do one halftime show?
Yes.
And people will be like, wait, what? Yeah, they're going to say 2 halftimes, 3. Maybe that's going to be the feature. It'll be a carnival of halftime performances happening. And you'll just maybe try to flip through all of them on your streaming devices. And each streaming platform will have its own. So then for that month, you got to pay $12.99 and then remember to cancel it for next month. So you get to flip through all of them through premium access.
I love it. The NFL halftime show subscription network.
Just all year round, just playing old halftime shows.
Try to use AI to come up with that idea. It ain't happening.
Who gives a shit about a halftime show also? Who even cares about halftime shows?
We do.
Lee, the Goyim are losing their fucking minds.
Mucha novia, hoy tengo a una, mañana otra, ey. Pero no hay boda. Tití me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, hoy tengo a una, mañana otra. Me las voy a llevar a todas pa' un VIP.
Hey, everybody. Your OG Juice Boys, Lee and myself, are here for episode 78. It's been a long time. Thank you for everyone coming back and joining your number one podcast in all the universe. I got to tell you, I like Bad Bunny, but I'd like Kid Rock. But I don't give a shit about halftime shows. I'm there to see some kind of content out of the commercials. Just a sign of life. I'm there to see the game unfold as I predict it, to lift me up and to assure me that my words are coming straight from God, you know, the Almighty, as they channel through my chakras.
Amen.
Well, yeah, halftime show. It's for like teenagers. It's for like people that write articles. That's for
Journalists.
Yeah. Who's it for?
I will tell you who's it for. So one of our mutual friends has a wife that's in event planning, like the big corporate event planning, right? And she's like late 20s. And, you think like white leftist girl in Denver, like at 29 years old, imagine 45 of those.
You talk about liberal, talk about CNN.
Just imagine you're a regular 29-year-old girl in Denver.
Okay.
Probably grew up in California. All right. Just imagine that. Then take 45 of them. Mm-hmm. And that's the event planning company for the Super Bowl.
Nice. They sound hot.
And that's the selectors of the halftime show. Those are the arbiters of American culture.
An ecosystem of a gender neutral plurality. A subtle distaste for straight men.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't go that far.
Or is it like a corporate friendly businesswoman?
But like cool, right? Corporate friendly, early millennial, late Gen Z.
29.
Cool.
Yeah, it's Gen Z, right?
27.
They're wearing a lot of monotone and baggy.
Monotone, baggy. There's a picture of them, and it's just that you literally couldn't tell one from the other.
Listen up, Gen Z, it's coming. You be around long enough, and all of a sudden, the whole world will hate you so goddamn much. They'll have you pinned, and they'll make sure that every one of your aunts and uncles think that they know exactly what you want and how you dress, because it's coming. The radicalization of your look and your aesthetic. Once you're around for too many years, the boomers get a hold of it, and they can finally pick up on it.
The millennial generation is the cool generation.
100%.
We had hipsterism.
Yeah, we're the only ones that know how to convert a PDF.
Exactly.
Because all the programs now, they'll do it for you. All of your software does it for you. You just have to pay for it. Software used to work, and you could figure out how to actually work a computer. Everyone before us didn't have computers. Everyone after us just had the rent-seeking monthly subscription model. It's not really their fault. We're just born at the right time to figure that out.
Like we actually had exposure to real culture and real things and like real experiences that were not curated. We were the last ones.
Yeah. Just enough to not get too comfortable with it as well.
Too much reality, hyper reality.
The calloused resiliency is for survival out there, the jungle. But of course, we say this and also acknowledge that there's a world of language out there we know oh so little about. And I'd like to take this opportunity as the ultimate Chads in the digital space, your LOOKSMAXXed, pod-celled.
Oh, he's our Gen Z reporter. He's on the scene.
Yes, I did a deep dive on a one superstar streaming sensation known as Clavicular.
Ooh,
Clavicular.
The guy who played Hail Hitler with all his buddies.
He was
on
there.
The club in Miami. Yeah, and got banned from everything.
my sons was caught in a van with a bunch of people, some of whom had been proudly anti-Semitic, and they were singing along to a song called Heil Hitler, I'd have a firm word with them and I'd get them to apologize to people who were rightly disgusted. I'm not gotchering you. I'm just saying, do you feel sorry? If you don't, you don't.
Don't worry, your sons will never, have as successful of a media career as me.
He was there in the club. Here's the thing, though. He's not banned everywhere. And if you're someone that's been on X.com in the past few weeks, you've most likely seen the posts. Hello, everybody. This is Ryan coming at you from the future. Yes, this is an editorial note in addition to our Thursday evening recording. In effort to make a little bit more sense and to give a better look on how all of this was presented online, I've gone back and put together a timeline of some of the more zesty and viral popped off posts from our key figures in the space, mostly from KickChamp, the account on X.com that posts highlights from the Kick website, the Kick streaming website. So here we go. February 8th, 2026, 1:18 a.m. by user @KickChamp. Clavicular got brutally mogged by an 18-year-old ASU Chad. February 8th, 1:22 a.m. Clavicular just got arrested for using a fake ID at a bar. February 8th, 5:02 p.m.
Of one loose pill.
Clavicular was caught and charged with a felony for one Adderall pill given to him by an ASU frat member yesterday. Ex-user West @GoingWest. February 9th, 7:26 p.m. Clavicular had to keep his cortisol levels to a low after being brutally frame-mogged by the ASU frat leader once again. Is Clav decomposing and Jester gooning after not gym maxing in the last few months? Ex-user @KickChamp, 3:45 p.m., February 10th. Clavicular had to keep his cortisol levels low after being brutally frame-mogged by the ASU frat leader once again. February 11th, 2026, 1:17 a.m. ASU frat leader had to pop a Zyn to relieve his sky-high cortisol levels while being forced to watch Clavicular Jester Max on his own computer. February 11th, 8:48 p.m. Number 2 ranked Chad Androgenic is flying to America to stop the ASU frat leader and get revenge for frame-mogging Clavicular. February 12th, 7:31 a.m. Number 2 ranked Chad Androgenic has landed in America and is actively searching for the ASU frat leader who frame-mogged Clavicular. February 12th, 9 p.m. Clavicular is officially hosting the Frame Mog Championship between the ASU frat leader and Androgenic this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ex-user Hyostra @Hyostrax. February 13th, 11:02 a.m. Clavicular was caught burger gooning right after ascending to number 1 on the Frame Mog Z leaderboard. This could trigger an instant bloat max debuff and push him back to number 2, making ASU frat leader reclaim number 1. Ex-user @KickChamp. February 14th, 10:34 a.m. Number 2 ranked Chad Androgenic continues to search the city as the ASU frat leader remains unseen. 2:32 p.m. February 14th. After a peace treaty was rejected by the ASU frat leader, a visibly irritated Androgenic initiated a Mog war. 8:37 p.m. February 14th. World War Mog has officially erupted after the ASU frat leader refused to sign the peace treaty with number 2 ranked Chad Androgenic. Ex-user NearBuck @NearedBuck. February 15th, 3:44 p.m. Androgenic is coming for the ASU frat leader. Ex-user Plug wave emoji @ClipPlug. February 17th, 5:02 p.m. Androgenic just activated his Mog stand to avenge Clavicular. Loki Mog PSL 8 GigaChad Trickster Maxer with aura so catastrophic it triggers instant Jester Goon. X user at KickChamp, February 19th, 12:46 p.m. Clavicular's ex-girlfriend is now dating the ASU frat leader. One flex leaves her speechless. February 21st, 10 a.m. Number 2 ranked Chad Androgenic suffered a massive cortisol spike after a fan snatched his wig, exposing his true hairline. February 21st, 4:18 p.m. After watching number 2 ranked Chad Androgenic plummet in the Chad rankings when his wig was publicly snatched, the ASU frat leader proved he is the real number 1 Chad. February 23rd, 4:33 p.m. Clavicular has given up on the Chad rankings after dropping to number 4 and is now jester maxing full time. And now back to the show. And that is, of course, how me, a soon-to-be 50-year-old boomer, can come to you today with awareness that, yes, the 6'5" Terra Chad from Australia has landed and is looking to frame Mog, our very own ASU frat leader, in the streets of New Orleans. Now, if none of this makes sense to you, you're going to be okay. You're probably
I have no idea what you just said, Ron.
You're probably way better off.
I know for a fact I am.
But I am excited to dive into this, and dive into it we will here.
All right, I'm on an adventure. I have nothing to add here because I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. I'm gonna have some snacks.
You ever heard of Michael Knowles? I think he might be on the Daily Wire.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Knowles has a show. Michael Knowles interviewing Clavicular.
On Michael Land, I've had the privilege of sitting down with people from a wide variety of backgrounds.
Priests, exorcists, scientists, refugees.
2 hours and 20 minutes, smooshed it down into just under 15 minutes so we can get in on just what the heck is this looks-maxing trend.
You're a good-looking guy. I don't think that makes me gay to say you're a good-looking guy. You have looks-maxed. What is looks-maxing?
Looks-maxxing is the furthest extent that you could take self-improvement, right? So we've seen a lot of, different forms of that over the years, mostly with bodybuilding. I would say was the main one for a while for men, from about 2010 up until 2020. And then it sort of shifted into looks-maxing that kind of crept into the space from different niche, forums. And it's very obvious that, the face is more important than the physique. So people were doing the self-improvement and it wasn't really getting them the results that they needed. So that's why the further step needed to be taken to sort of go about improving upon your entire life. But I'm just adding that extra layer, that extra piece of key nuance that I feel like has been out of the equation for the longest time, especially in a lot of like the manosphere discussion.
Can I ask how old you are?
19.
When did you get into this?
When I was 14 years old, I started taking exogenous hormones, testosterone, and then it became more of a shift from bodybuilding-oriented stuff into more looks-maxing stuff over the years.
Why did you do that?
For facial masculinization, optimizing all of my growth pathways so that I could have like a
super physiological puberty.
It's a now or never mentality, right? So once your growth plates close, there's nothing you could do.
That's like the transgender argument.
So it's the exact opposite.
Why?
So I'm a bit of an autist. There's this thing that could get me to my desired physique quicker. Like, why wouldn't I do that?
He has strange hands. Do you notice that?
Everything about him is strange.
Are you still taking them?
No, I'm just on TRT.
What's TRT?
Testosterone replacement
Yes,
therapy.
yeah, okay. You hear about like 50-year-old guys doing that.
Yeah, well, it seems a little ridiculous that to optimize my testosterone levels to where they realistically should be as a male, I have to wait until I'm like 30 years old is like the common cope that you hear on the internet. And testosterone levels have been declining rapidly across generations. So I'm kind of just placing myself where we, evolutionarily should be.
I know nothing about this. What is gynecomastia?
That is, the glandular tissue in your nipples growing. So there was like a time where I went like hypogonadal for a month or two.
Hypergonadal?
Didn't have any testosterone production just for like a month or two. And that was probably the worst 2 months of my life.
Yeah.
Having zero male sex hormone, you have no libido, no sex drive. So yeah, just making sure to avoid that is very important.
You started taking the drugs. Your parents finally find out about this. What did they tell you?
Well, they would just take it away. No more steroids. Like take away the Xbox Classic.
That part right there got me, dude. I was rolling over laughter. This one kind of makes me think like maybe he is 19. Oh, well, they took it away. Like, take away the Xbox Classic. All week long.
Damn it, son. Stop doing steroids. You know what? I'm taking away your Xbox. Like, Dad, no.
All week long, I've been quoting that. Take away the Xbox Classic. I've just been saying it in my head.
But I'm just someone who, is willing to do whatever needs to be done. So I would just reorder it.
Why was that your goal?
What's going to actually get you further in life? What's going to get you opportunities in the workplace, dates with prettier women? It's going to be looks 100 times over. Someone to ascend from maybe, slightly below average to above average through LOOKSMAXXING, or for them to achieve that desired amount of wealth for a supermodel to date them. It just seems like, we should be telling people to go the looks route.
Why?
Because it's easier. It's more realistic. I think that, learning a high value skill is one of the most important things that you could do. I'm just saying that it's going to be easier for you to actually ascend and overcome a lot of the disparities in the dating market through looks. So I'm saying a well-rounded mogger is kind of required with how difficult the scene is these days.
I sometimes think that I got the last chop rat
Wait. What does that even mean?
Let's try to find it. About here.
Times over. Someone to ascend from maybe, slightly below average to above average through LOOKSMAXXING, or for them to achieve that desired amount of wealth for a supermodel to date them. It just seems like, we should be telling people to go the looks route.
As the interview progresses, Michael Knowles is attempting to do what people do in interviews and try to elicit something deeper out of them. He's essentially trying to inject a philosophy into his religion. LOOKSMAXXING itself is just a religion without necessarily a philosophy. And the hyper expedited existence of moment to moment trends, we're seeing the tip of the iceberg in this movement where people are talking this way and thinking this way, and like a highly synthesized approach to bettering oneself and to gaining value. Whether it be like money or women or whatever you want, or maybe you want money, maybe you just want women to want you, so you don't really want to have sex with them. You just want to have them want you, is where he's coming from. And everything that you could do to do that is worth your investment beyond trying to be the richest person. All of your success will come from you, first and foremost, looking as good as scientifically possible through whatever means necessary. There's no morality. There's no...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. Michael Knowles is kind of like trying to find a morality in this guy's religion, but there is none. Because Michael Knowles is a Christian. Like he under the Judeo-Christian mindset is to have a set morality in your set of deepest beliefs around God, around like existence and creation. He's just like trying to maybe find it here and just completely, it's like asking an AI for a funny joke. The algorithm is not designed that way.
You live like he's living and you kill yourself in like 7 years. You exist like this man, and there's all types of deranged vices that come from a sterile existence. It's that in-between stuff that is morality that makes life even worth trying or getting up the next day. There has to be some level of some kind of internal philosophy native to your personal compass or something.
Right. The joie de vivre, in French, the joie de vivre, it's the joy of life, like the having friends and having smoking something, or like enjoying your time with your family, like these joyous occurrences.
We get to a certain point in our existence that we kind of find that part of it inevitable. Like we have to engage with those activities. Now, I wanted to watch this interview because of how insanely viral the topic was and why it was the only thing that my algorithm was showing me. So I'm locked in trying to get to the bottom of this. He is the forefront of the movement as far as communicating this to the general public and to
So what's mogging?
We're going to get into that. Don't you worry, listener. We're gonna get to the bottom of mogging, and I think that's why it goes on for so long, because he really is getting. He feels like he's getting through, but maybe this kid's more or less trolling him. We don't really know, and it's all really a mystery. But I really found it fascinating, considering that people are going to hear him and know exactly what we just mentioned about the level of like philosophy and morality needed. And they're going to think that they could explain it to him. And then the more I watched, the more I realized he's not looking for anyone to explain anything to him. He's looking to speed run to his end game. And it doesn't make any sense. And how would you blame any kid nowadays to consider anything else but the absolute top of the mountain end game and not be distracted by anything else because of how cutthroat and how competitive and how expensive life is? This is kind of what we get. It makes a lot of sense that this is what the fresh stuff out of the oven looks like. So we'll keep going here.
I sometimes think that I got the last chopper at an arm, because I'm a millennial. Man, if I had to date in the year of our Lord 2025, I would be very upset. I would have to learn how to mog. I would have to learn how to mew.
So what that looks like in terms of a hypergamy standpoint was, maybe you had a girl from your town who's going to try to date above her looks level, maybe just in her immediate surroundings. But now we've got people like, professional athletes DMing them on Instagram, flying them out. So you're not just competing with the top chads of your 15-mile radius, you're competing with the entire world. So it's the
chads of the world, maybe who even live in Chad.
Well, I doubt it.
What is it? What does the girl do in the State of the Union speech where she just moved her fingers like this? What's it called? Clock it. Clock it? Is that what it is?
It's becoming increasingly difficult to compete as like the average guy. So there's this purgatory zone where even someone who's average to above average could be struggling to secure a long-term relationship. Main thing that you need to understand is the halo effect. I don't know if you've heard about this. The halo effect is that people are going to perceive the things that you say and the things that you do a lot better if you're good looking. Just your overall well-being, if you're an unattractive person and no one even wants to look at you in the elevator, no one even wants to shake your hand or acknowledge you, it's horrible for your mental well-being. And that's why I think looksmaxxing goes a lot further than just getting a girlfriend.
Looks are the most important thing in life.
Yeah. Your subconscious tells you if someone is genetically disfortunate that they are lesser than you, and you have to kind of fight that to acknowledge them as an equal. So if you've got to go against like your biological instincts to have a belief system, it already kind of just makes it a little bit difficult.
Do people like the tanner people or the whiter people?
The tanner people, actually, and they've done a lot of different surveying about this. Tanned European phenotypes are the most ideal.
I thought the idea was people value whiteness more, and whiteness is considered more beautiful than brownness or blackness. But you're saying, no, it's basically you need a Sicilian max, and then you're in a good spot.
It could even be as simple as getting leaner. Lean maxing is a big part of looksmaxxing, and that's arguably the most important thing that you could do.
Is that it? Is that where it maxes out?
No, so I'm getting a double jaw surgery in a couple weeks from now. They're just doing an osteotomy on both of the jaws and then advancing them forward. I'm someone who just wants to mog, essentially. I don't really care about getting girls. That's kind of lost its novelty. I just want to mog people, better halo effect, and just better overall quality of life through my looks.
What do we mean by mog, I guess?
A mogger is someone who's just like, I would say, the peak human, and that's kind of what I'm going for, and that's in all metrics.
There is a warning against, in the Christian religion, pride, excessive love of one's own excellence, against vanity, against making idols out of the material things of this world.
I could see how it could, but I don't really think that it necessarily would in my case.
Yeah, Michael, I see what you're saying about scripture from ancient texts, but how could that ever apply to me?
It is easier for the camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a wealth-maxed mogger to enter into the kingdom of heaven.
I don't really have too much regard for the spiritual aspect when I'm trying to looksmaxx.
Do you want a girlfriend?
I'm a little bit young. I'm kind of focused on career right now.
But I had my first girlfriend when I was 12, and then I dated in high school. Ended up marrying my high school sweetheart, albeit later.
Yeah, no, that's another cope. I would say that's probably not a good idea.
Did he say this for real?
Okay, I might have sped through some of that. I'm going to cut out, right as he was just making the point of, finding a special woman, and an excuse for something was the cope line there. But essentially, clavicular
I
is
love how you cut
shrugging
this.
it off. Thank you. It was a lot of work.
No, I'm learning so much so quickly here. This is required reading.
Absolutely.
First of all, you've got to identify a girl, shoot her a first inquiry, an Instagram message or a cold approach. So we're already like down 2 hours. Then you have to go and do an activity, God forbid, maybe 4 or 5 hours doing some jester maxed, like bowling.
What is jester maxed?
They're clowns.
Okay, so
Who's a clown?
God
Who's a
forbid
clown?
you got to go bowling. Paul Rudd in any one of his Paul Rudd cuck movies. That's a Jester Max clown. He's the one that's always like trying and looking like a fool because you're not mogging. Think of what would it look like if Zoolander came to life. Like this is the ideal concept of like look like a model, like have your face just chiseled and be lean as possible. And listening to it, you know, going through this, I went through waves of my own dysmorphia and anxiety thoughts that I've ever had. And just like, God, I'm hideous. I'm a sub 5, which is another term because it's like most humans on Earth are sub 5s. The highest you could ever be, like Adam Chad or whatever they call it. There's a whole list of terms here that go along
Oh, they
with
have a
this
whole
too.
lot. They have a whole, like any good religion, you have to have your lingo.
There's a dictionary, and having my own crash out over my worth because he speaks so confidently on the values of looking hot, incredibly, really, really good looking, or whatever Zoolander says. It's just like model guys that have taken over a certain space, and it's so fascinating.
He's not really worried about the spiritual part of it, you know. Like, you know, see how he just kind of
like he's brushing it off like it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, that's worked in so many other societies. Yeah, just brush off any religion. Like that is the
just
comical.
like, yeah, I don't care about it.
Yeah, that is the comical part about it. And playing the point of sticking to his ground and not letting the intelligent and well-versed professional host control the narrative, or at least subvert his own message.
I think of it like you're this big jester, like doing these silly like activities, like you're basically like just an activity cell. Like, what are you doing? Like bowling? It would be a comical idea to
An
put
activity
my career
cell?
at a standstill for a girlfriend.
Are you in college?
No, I actually got expelled from college.
Why'd you get expelled from college?
For looksmaxxing, essentially. I got caught with steroids in my dorm room and I got kicked out.
How long is the recovery for the jaw surgery?
About 6 months.
Have any of the doctors said, hey, man, you know, you don't really need this surgery?
No, not really. You improve that much in looks, the opportunities that are going to be available to you will absolutely exceed the $35,000 investment. Being like the top, like 0.01 percentile of men in terms of looks, it's just a guarantee for success. Like, you can't lose. There's really no losing.
There are plenty of hot people on social media who aren't that successful.
That's also people who are low IQ. What are we talking about by hot? Like good looking? Like some people think that like Sydney Sweeney is extremely attractive.
I would say Sydney Sweeney is very attractive.
I would say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed. She's got the eyes of doom with no infraorbital support.
No. Stop. No.
Oh, folks, as we're watching along here,
No way,
we
this
did
is real.
highlight.
This is AI, right, Ryan?
I have highlighted what he actually says here. And I'll just read that again because we have it here on our screen. In reference to Sydney Sweeney, I would say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed. She's got the eyes of doom with no infraorbital support. That's a mouthful. And he kind of stumbles up a little bit when he says it because it is a verse. This thing.
Is this something it's like memorized?
It is memorized because within this community, and going back, this community has been around living in other types of communities, weightlifting types of communities, incel adjacent type of communities, thus putting the suffix cell at the end of words.
This is the evolution of red pill.
Yes. Yeah. This for those following along
in
at home.
2011, that was red pill. But it wasn't like you had to. It wasn't this dogmatic. It didn't have this dogma. It did in some ways, but this is they look maxed red pilling.
It feels bleak. It feels sterile. It feels like what it would look like if we were at the end of an empire. At the very end. Yeah, we'll keep going here.
I think that a lot of people with porn brains find her attractive because of her body.
I don't have porn brain. So who's really beautiful?
You know, Gisele Bündchen and Taylor Hale.
Gisele Bündchen, was she the one married to Tom Brady?
Correct.
Yes.
Right. So
you think she's hotter than Sydney Sweeney?
In her prime, yeah, absolutely. Because of her facial harmony scores. There's measurements that you could take of everyone's face to figure out exactly how attractive they are. It's an objective thing.
Fat girls are being pushed in pornography.
You know, you would see in like the 90s and the early 2000s, like with modeling, it was like a very skinny look. The face was very angular. I would say that porn probably did the most damage to, you know, what's pushed. You might as well adapt to the times instead of doing all these copes like political activism when this is just the way that the world is going to go and the way that it's going to continue to go. I'm personally an accelerationist, so I'd like to see where things are going to go because I can only assume that the dating market is going to get worse and worse.
Immanentize the Eschaton. Let's bring it up to the end, let it all fall apart, and then we can finally rebuild something good. At a very real level, I love trannies.
But the problem is, you see what you just did there is you spiked your cortisol thinking about transgenders.
I don't want to like spike the football or spike my cortisol and just mog all over them.
What?
Okay. What? So maybe I did fast forward there a little bit. Again, listener. But he again is.
I'm missing a lot of context there.
The full episode is out there, but
the cut is amazing.
I haven't taken and moved through time. I've just scrubbed to fast forward, essentially forward in their conversation, and it is kind of circular in the way that they're bringing up topics because that's just Michael Knowles' personal style, I believe. He kind of swirls the pot before he strikes you, and it's good. It's a great tactic. At the same time, clavicular is not that far away on a political ideology spectrum. Clavicular himself, out there on the right.
He says that he thinks that JD Vance is subhuman. Like, he only judges people on their looks. But I'm just looking through some of these things. Like, he doesn't care about what.
Oh, we're about to get into it.
Okay, go.
Yeah, again, why I had to present the entirety, but for sake of the show, sake of the episode, we couldn't watch the whole 2 hour.
I want them to live lives that are good and flourishing.
Think about all the time that you've spent throughout your entire life talking about trannies. What if you were to dedicate all that time to bone smashing?
What is bone smashing?
It's where you induce microfractures, and this principle follows Wolff's law that a bone is going to grow back stronger. After you induce these localized microtraumas. So you're going to lay in your bed to brace your head for CTE, and you're going to bone smash.
Do you punch yourself in the face?
Yes.
How hard?
Like reasonably.
Are there any downsides to hitting yourself in the head with a hammer?
No. This next election cycle, who's going to win? It's going to be Gavin Newsom against JD Vance because JD Vance is subhuman and Gavin Newsom Oggs.
JD Vance is subhuman?
Yeah. He's got a very short total facial width to height ratio. He's obese, very recessed side profile, whereas Newsom is like 6'3" Chad. It's just embarrassing. Like, how are you fat and you expect to like lead a country? You can't even be in shape, you know? Not to mention, you look at like JD Vance, I'd say he's probably like more concerned with like doing trips to India and like, taking pictures in front of the Taj Mahal than actual politics. Because of the halo effect and the subconscious bias, politics is not about like good policy anymore. It's just about like rhetoric and presentation. If it weren't for Trump's rhetoric and charisma, he wouldn't have won in 2016.
This is where I totally disagree.
Most people who vote for Trump don't even know what he stands for.
I don't think that's right.
I think if Trump were to run for the opposing party and Hillary were to run for the Conservative Party, I think we would have had Trump win as a Democrat.
You're saying just based on looks?
Yeah, just based on charisma, looks.
No, I believe him. As in, like, I kind of believe that idea as well about Trump specifically. A charismatic freight train of success. So
yeah, you know what? He's probably right about that.
He's probably right. and phrasing it as such is something I kind of vaguely remember.
Let me pause you for a second so I can get this thought out. Doesn't that go against everything he's saying? That admission right there?
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't that just contradict the entire philosophy, like his entire religion? Is he just said, like,
that's the void of philosophy. If you have a religion without philosophy, you can still have a religion, but it can't go anywhere. That's the void that Michael Knowles is trying to get across. But because this is sponsored content, it has to go somewhere. Michael Knowles is trying to give him the Michael Knowles ladder up out of it, because we're all looking at it like this is like a hell world thing you're going through, buddy. Somebody on Instagram wouldn't take your DMs, like you couldn't. What's going on here? And of course, a lot of people have the theory that it's more performative and it's like a variation of closeted youth male. But we'll keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, just the whole point, like that someone could use charisma to get what they want in life. Someone could use charisma and like hard work to get to where they are in life at certain points, right? The guy definitely works a lot. It's hard to be president, but like it doesn't disprove all of what he's saying. Like people can be good at other things and have other attributes that are valuable in this world. Because if what you're saying was true, all of our leaders would just be the most beautiful people on the planet. And we wouldn't care.
Exactly.
But that's just not the case. Most leaders are hideous.
Exactly.
Physically.
Now I'm going to put on my my contrarian LOOKSMAXXING fedora. I'll just say this is where he interjects with, yes, but easier for you, the anybody, the non-lottery winner of charisma, easier than trying to climb a corporate ladder into your event planning firm, easier than trying to work your way up in the trades. Just be as hot as possible, all gas, no brakes. Get surgeries and beyond, because there's still more.
I guess I don't know what the point was.
No, it's a valid concern. Yes, it is without philosophy, because the philosophy has to be the thing that makes it essentially logical for us to exist through. Otherwise, our brains would explode.
And why would I listen to a 19-year-old?
Yeah, fuck this guy. Let's change it.
Why would I listen to a 19-year-old?
Oh, the payoff is coming. Don't you worry.
And Gavin Newsom absolutely blows Vance out of the water. He is objectively more harmonious facially. I don't really think that right-wingers should just give support to these jesters who continue to underdeliver on their promises. Just let the Democrats win. That's kind of what I'm talking about. For the RNC to just demand voters to continue to show up, for what, really? It's just, that's the COPE. Do you honestly believe that J.D. Vance is going to be the next president? I would probably bet every last cent I own that Gavin Newsom would win. No one wants to vote for like a woman. There's still a lot of like moderate Democrats who are just like, okay, this is silly. We're just not here yet. I think they still think that, a woman should be president, which is absurd to me. So Kamala is not only a woman, but she's an ugly one at that. So the DNC's they've got to know by now. I think they're not gonna make the same mistake that they did, which is why Gavin will definitely get the primary.
You ever see young Hillary? I think she actually looked pretty good.
Not good enough to stop Bill Clinton from cheating on her. I feel like Bill Clinton did probably the same thing that most people would do if they were president, to slay in the Oval Office.
Plenty of adulterous presidents who slayed. JFK, of course, FDR, all these guys.
Well, that's like achieving pinnacle status. So I think that's like kind of the point of like status maxing.
You think that turning an intern into a human humidor in the Oval Office is status maxing?
Yeah, that's like the textbook definition of like status maxing. If we're living in a society that rewards hypergamy and rewards having a lot of sexual partners.
He loves that word hypergamy, so I had to look it up, and it just essentially means like,
I always read it as hypergamy, but
yeah, but because it's a part of the scripture, this clearly defined scripture that he's able to recite so well.
Yes,
that it's something that he looked up, so of course he knows how to say it. It's what in my head I'm thinking is how you say it, because I wouldn't have known how to pronounce it specifically either, and he's now used it twice. And essentially just means like marrying up, like using the relationship to jump up class and wealth.
women will always go for the alpha, basically, is what it means. My interpretation.
It's slaying, and you're like the top, like echelon of men. You're the president of the United States, you mog, and you're not taking advantage of that. That just seems like a missed opportunity to me. It's just about positioning. Society's going to go the way that society's going to go. How are you positioning yourself as an individual? Men are doing worse than they ever have in almost every metric. And the only way to overcome that is just focusing on oneself to the maximum, doing whatever it takes to ascend. Simply what I'm suggesting is that you focus on the looks, money, status, increasing those, doing whatever it takes.
Ascendancy is like the religious outcome, right? Like for the Christians, it's the return of Jesus, like the
resurrection,
the end times, like they're waiting for the
revelations.
What is it? The apocalypse, basically. Like it's their like endpoint, right? Like all religions are striving for an endpoint of something. Judgment Day, right?
Yeah.
I think it is, right? This is what the evangelicals go for. Endpoint of their religion. And for him, in LOOKSMAXXING, the endpoint is ascendancy. It is pure ascendancy. It has no definition. It's not described what that ascendancy is. He's used ascend probably 6 or 7 times in the parts of the interviews that we're talking about here. Because it's just fucking scripture, dude.
Yeah.
We're going to ascend. Like, why are you doing this? He's not here to fuck more women. He has no quantitative objective. It's just to ascend. Yeah. Whatever that means, right? Which is probably blowing his brains out at 29. Yeah. Like all of these people, they're going to get their own island and wind up doing a Jonestown and drinking some Kool-Aid together and ascending.
Yeah. The inevitability or attempt.
This is not a philosophy that leads to reproduction.
Again, a very sterile feel, and probably more likely is just a bad batch of steroids will kill them. It's like like the next evolution of a steroid in beta testing, and they all try it, but then it turns out that in 8 months there's like plutonium like effects.
Made in a Chinese lab next to Wuhan.
After you've achieved that, your positioning will be better. What you're able to accomplish or what you're able to strive for increases exponentially. I think you would probably agree with that. If these 3 metrics are increased, what you're able to accomplish goes up.
You do meth.
Yeah. Sometimes I do recreational drugs. Psychedelics are like one of those leftist drug selections that really just are mind-boggling.
And here's a fascinating point here. And
he does meth?
He does meth, right? We're getting into the drugs. What is he? Okay, so he also does drugs. And he says he does meth. Now, how often he's doing meth? Probably not enough to really have an effect on a younger person. Like, people can do meth. You don't look like you're a meth guy until like a little bit of time into it. So he probably just started doing, like, bumping his energy. Having a nice cortisol plateau, not spiking your cortisol.
Adderall is just not strong enough for him.
Essentially, he's probably an Adderall kid, and so he's had this vision that he's Bradley Cooper in Limitless. If you remember that Garbage Juice classic, where Bradley Cooper plays a character that basically discovers Adderall, but it's like allows him to win the stock market and be able to battle skull conversations with hot women. It's a great film. It's so stupid. I love it. But yeah, he was that like 60 milligram a day kid at like the age of 8.
Was that a secret advertisement for Ritalin for amethamphetamines, Limitless?
No, it's 100%. The whoever wrote it was an adult that was trying Adderall for the first time to write, and then all of a sudden his mind like opened up with the effects of Adderall. Yeah, he like created this world with his Adderall induced high, and probably wrote the whole thing in a weekend.
This kid's got a serious mental disorder, and it's probably from being an Adderall kid.
Yeah, like there's drugs involved. But what I do find pleasurable is what he says about the psychedelics. Not for him. He does not like them.
Leftist.
He doesn't.
It's
he's
too
a
lefty.
leftist thing because it makes you feel. It brings you out of yourself to put your own actions under a magnifying glass as though you do to others.
Yeah. And even more importantly, it connects you to others. When you do LSD, mushrooms, any form of THC, right? It connects you to others. It makes you less important in the long run.
Bro, I don't like these shrooms, bro. Bro, you feel it? Yeah, bro, feeling it right now, like heavy, like swirling, like I'm like giga paranoid though. Yeah, bro, like I kind of just had like an idea that like I would fuck AOC. Yeah, like I would fuck her. I don't know. But like I never felt that way, bro. Like I'm a
I
diehard.
haven't felt anything before. That's why. It's unusual. It's
Yeah.
you get to a point where your brain just can't do it.
Maybe like Nancy Pelosi's husband who's dying in the hospital. Maybe he should have got hit in the head with a hammer.
I had to lay down in the back of my car for like 8 hours. LSD, not good at all.
Are there any of the recreational drugs you like?
Yeah, cocaine.
Of course, cocaine.
Are you kidding me? This kid's the poster child for cocaine.
Cocaine.
I'm gonna do a roid cycle again, and then I'll continue upon improving my physique.
Harder or easier for women to look-smax than men?
If you're ugly as a woman, like it's over. Like you could cope your way into a corporate position and make a little bit of money, but who gives a shit? Like if you're an ugly broad, it's over for you. Obviously, women aren't gonna hold themselves accountable and like be moral people. So it's a job of men to shape the society. Like really,
Monogamy.
monogamy is anything but the ideal.
Yeah, no question. Clavicular, this has been a maximally enjoyable discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
for
coming
having
in.
me. Appreciate it.
What did he say at the end? At the end, what was the last thing he said? Go back to the last thing he said.
That part, listener, of course, it was sped through.
Monogamy.
Monogamy is anything but the ideal.
Anything but the what?
Anything but the ideal. And then I just cut forward a bit to Michael Knowles saying, yeah. But he didn't say that about monogamy, of course. Oh, it just was funnier to end it that way.
Yeah, fortunately, this is a death cult, so whoever joins it, they're not reproducing. That's a positive.
Yeah. No, why would you? That would totally take away from your own look, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, what condition my condition was in. I woke up this morning with the
This was an insane. I just took a trip through an insane asylum.
Insane journey into the mind of American youth. You log on to Twitter and your algorithm is really treating you well. You're gonna find a lot of videos. Clavicular gets AUROMOG'd by the ASU frat leader after his girlfriend blushes and bites her lips the moment she sees the frat leader into the room. Clavicular is streaming with this guy in a red tank top, who, by the way, only wears the red tank top in all of his videos. It looks like he's straight from the bench press. He got the total swole pump thing going on. And he just stands there.
Bro has a signature outfit like a cartoon character.
And he's just there to show his incredibly broad shoulders, bigger than the other guys. And a couple weeks ago, Clavicular was on top of the world. He was the hottest. But then ASU frat leader stepped in. And it's just another guy. People said he's not even in a frat, but he was brought to the scene.
Oh, it's a wrestler concept. It's the heel.
Yes, yeah. He was brought in, and then he was just known as ASU frat leader because he just looks like a guy that would lead a frat.
It's like random enemy number 2 in the movie, right?
It literally just like 3 weeks ago, you would never see Clavicular dance. But ever since the frame mogging incident against the ASU frat leader, Clavicular has like gone into a pit of indifference, seems to not care and be letting loose and deciding to dance. But then shortly after I found out about the ASU frat leader frame mogging and taking the spotlight, I've been seeing more and more the 6'5" Australian Terrachad landed to try to face off against ASU frat leader. Now, Lee, go ahead and read this post here if you can to the audience.
This is 21,000 likes, dude.
9.9 million views.
6'5" Australian
TerraChad androgenic has flown to US and bone maxed in order to hunt down the ASU frat leader and engage in a mog-off to avenge clavicular after the brutal frame log incident that took place last week.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the reason for the season and the fascination with the movement. These like hyper saturated brain rot slop type clips of these Zoolander boys with words that I've never seen before. It's also very playful, like young minds that are still developing with the access to just do this kind of stuff. You know, the reach of 9.9 million views and counting.
Androgenic versus clavicular.
We've been talking about clavicular this whole time, but the first time I went to read it, it's a term like you have a clavicular injury.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hit the fucking frame log. Hit the fucking future IFBB Pro. Androgenic, you fucking pussy. Look at these fucking delts, bro. Look at this fucking clavicle. Androgenic, fuck slut waist, 30-inch bidel. You don't even have abs, fat piece of shit. Get some fucking abs. That's how you build a physique. Hey,
What have we learned from all this, Ryan? What have we gained?
Vainglory, a new obsession with our looks. We must immediately, right when the show ends, we got to start ordering hair replacement serums.
Speak for yourself.
Immediately. No. You have beautiful hair, but I'm talking, it's got to come halfway down. I have to get hair plugs to here. I point to the middle of my forehead.
Wait, you're going to come in with a bowl cut? Like a 7-year-old's bowl cut?
Just all hair where my receding, just all, it's not bangs. It's my hairline starts here.
Well, Ryan, I've learned a lot, but I think we need to wind this down here.
You're gonna get one more thing.
What is the coup de grace? What is our final task?
The 6'4" TerraChad had a massive slip up. Turns out he just got hair plugs, and while streaming, someone snatched his wig.
No coming back from this. Aussie LOOKSMAXXING influencer Androgenic left humiliated as wig incident goes viral online. An Australian content creator has been left red-faced after a now viral video made the rounds on social media and revealed a major insecurity. Someone stole, he was wearing, it's all for promoting their religion through their show.
The show's good. And I think that it leads us all back to a great friend of the show. You remember this guy?
The Portland Pickle.
We did a whole thing on this guy.
I don't remember.
The 7'2" Brian Pilled Terra Dylan T. Pickles has flown to Arizona and bone maxed in order to hunt down the ASU frat leader and engage in a mog off to avenge last week's brutal frame mog incident. That's right, the Portland Pickle. Earlier listeners of the show will remember this pickle mascot in our episode as he was doing something funny. I can't quite remember it.
I don't remember the Portland fucking Pickle. Well, I've had enough of TerraChads.
Viewing, mogging, sub 5, soft maxing, hard maxing, frame. Foids are female orbiting distractions. There's like fem cells in another life ago. Also, congratulations, Michael Jordan, on winning the Daytona 500. And it's been 25 years since Sir Father Dale Earnhardt passed away in that tragic final lap where he crashed into the wall. And thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been another great one.
I'm Gen Z'd out. That was
also
that was a fucking
I would like
trip.
to say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed. She's got the eyes of dew with no infraorbital support. I think a lot of people with porn brains find her attractive because of her body. Good night.
Good night. Yeah, that
was a good one.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't. Till you can't. Until you can't. Until you can't.
So, happy Black History Month, happy Black History Year, and happy Black History Century. Thank you all. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
I want to honor God in all that I do. I want to be a great husband, a great father. I want to serve this country. I want to try to continue to lead this movement and to speak truth and to never lie. To stop thinking about yourself all the time and instead think about what you should do to help other people and to defend this country above yourself.
I'm so inspired. This army of freedom fighters, we're going to be around for the next 100, 200 years because we know in the end our ideas will win.
God should be the most important thing in your life. But then beyond that, it's getting married, having children, building families.
My kids are my most important thing in my world. My wife, my kids, my relationship with God, top three things.
And the more often that you choose the deep, the difficult, but the right path over the easy path is one that will reward you, your family, and this beautiful nation.
Maybe Orlando temporarily. We have a new stadium coming out. I think that they're starting renovations already, taking out sections at a time. And then there will be a temporary situation where Jaguars are playing their games in Orlando with whatever stadium's available there. No pro team, not worth having a pro team. They're going to be the Orlando Pirates of the Caribbean.
Killer.
Or Orlando Star Wars universe, Dream Park, Orlando SeaWorld. No, there's not. That's probably Tampa or something.
The Orlando thematic Marvel franchise.
Orlando Iron Man. Oh man, that would be a terrible moment. A Marvel character as an NFL team. That would make me want to boycott.
It's coming. Or like some random Disney movie, like the Tennessee Moana 3.
Isn't that happening with the NBA? Patches and brandings, the NASCARification in the NBA. They're getting advertisements. We love our ads.
There's a lot of talk that league is going down the shitter in its quality. Like no one gives a shit anymore. Those guys don't even play anymore.
There's high level involvement of crypto pump and dumps with players like Kevin Durant and Lamar Ball and
we got to make our bag, dude.
Stephen Curry. I'm having a hard time naming 3 basketball players
That's
that aren't even
James
close to starting. So they're kind of openly able to do what they want and have had involvement. Some of which in the Israeli-based drone company.
Fuck yeah.
So, God, I forget his name. Anyways, cashed out big there recently. And I heard a conversation. It is a bit of a free-for-all. Possibly our new favorite sport here on the show. There's a lot of opportunity with a national professional league in a free fall situation. Scrapped for parts. We'll see what goes where. It's got to be. Also, it feels like it would feel hopeless. Some teams would just turn into inevitably too much of a monopoly to ever fail. It is often the same teams winning the championship.
I don't know. Does it really matter?
It's all scripted.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The script's already in before we even get the opportunity to have hope for our teams. We would just like to be on the other side of the script. You know, we'd like to be sending the script instead of doing the receiving. Time to liven up the episodes. We've got a lot of requests from the listeners. Our episodes need to get 10 times more dialed in. We need fentanyl patches on at all times. As our sponsor, Lilly Pharmaceutical likes to remind you. Talk to your doctor today if fentanyl patches are good for you to help you get through your day, realizing that your job will one day be taken by AI, the ultimate know-all computer of the future.
Like I said, Ryan, you're going to have your own Chinese chef here in a few years because you're going to be a landed gentry, I think they call it.
It will be the only secure jobs, therefore the only jobs, therefore competition will essentially be a lottery that you're born into to be allowed to serve the royalty in our techno-feudalistic future. That is kind of like a tidal wave crossing the Atlantic right now. So surf's up.
I just finished testifying in front of the House Oversight Committee. I did it for two reasons. First is that the girls and women I offered penis. I saw nothing and I did nothing. The second reason I was there, I saw nothing that ever gave me real pause. We're only here today because Epstein hid it from everyone so well for so long. When the video of my testimony today is released, I hope it will motivate everyone to say what they know to ensure that this never happens again.
I wanted to be very well behaved because I wanted to do anything. I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court because I understand the court. I understand how they are very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy.
Could, at Mike Irvin, brutally frame Mog, what is this? Kavalica, and who is this? Gigard, ASU frat leader, or is he too? Jestermaxx, what is this here? What is that word? Oh man, look at what they're trying to say here. Look at that. Boy, look at that, boy, yeah, ooh, I don't remember that shot. Boy, hey, y'all stop playing around, boy. 60 years old? Boy, hey. I don't know what are these dudes doing? What are these guys? How do I know? What are they doing? Darn. Boy, that joker that fine. That joker that fine. That's all I know. That's all I know. I want to have y'all to know, I can't tell you how many women are coming up to me talking about they got a woman's group that want me to come and visit after they saw my abs. I said, you got a woman's group that you want me to come visit? I gave my secretary, called my secretary, and set the appointment. You know what I mean. Sports.